She is actually the vice president of the Supply Chain Student Association. So I just wanted to acknowledge Tangi in addition to Jasmine online. And we have Alexis Allen, as well as Shania Jeremiah. And Dalen is in the back over there. So you ladies in the room might be a little bit chilly, but you're enjoying pizza. So we're gonna go ahead and let you guys get started.
All we need now is a little hot chocolate and we're in good shape. I tell you, we're in good shape. But thank you all for being here. It looks like we have about 5 plus the administrators. So this is awesome. And then on our side of the ledger, I'm going to ask my team to make quick introductions of themselves, the folks here at Bridgeport. So Tasha, would you kick us off?
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Tasha Hudson, and I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships for Bridgeport Group. And I am leading an effort for us to increase our student engagement with HBCUs and other universities. I happen to be a graduate of an HBCU. Please don't boo, but Hampton University, that's my alma mater. Proud graduate, but to be honest, my best friend is a graduate of Howard, and I have many friends that are graduates as well. So I have a love for not only Hampton, but Howard and all the other HBCUs. It's a pleasure to be with you, and I'm looking forward to us extending our engagement with the students, and I've enjoyed the conversation so far, so I know that this is going to go well. Thank you.
Thanks, Tasha. And George?
Good afternoon. My name is George Otterberry. I'm the Director of Global Supply Chain. I'm a 1988 graduate of Howard University, the School of Communication. So I feel your pain. It's a pleasure to be here, and look forward to engaging all of you, and ready to get started.
Absolutely. Thanks, George. And Izzy?
Hi, everyone. I'm Izzy. I'm Director of Digital Marketing. So I'm here to support our colleges, universities that we're partnered with, as well as, of course, our Bridgeport team. I'm here to help. That's my primary objective. So anything that anyone needs to make beautiful marketing pieces, that's what I do.
Yep, and Izzy's being a little kind of bashful here. She's amazing with social media, creativity, digital marketing, and she runs integrated marketing for Bridgeport. So all of our communications, webinars, everything that we do runs through Izzy. So thank you guys for jumping on. And then of course, Bridgeport has a ton of other folks in the background. My name again is Andre Bryan. I'm going to be brief and to the point because I feel your pain being there in the room with a little bit of a challenge with the heat. George will laugh with me. I'm a graduate of Howard in '87. And I remember when the business school was across the street where the baseball field is now. And I remember being in my first accounting 101 class and had leaky ceiling falling onto my textbook. So, so welcome to, I welcome me into your world and welcome into my world. That's the way we live.
So things have changed, but then there's some things that are not
stay the same, right? Exactly. That's why I love it. That's why I said, well, this is the HBC you love, and I really appreciate it. There's several other people within our team, Bridgeport Group, that are graduates of the illustrious Hampton University. We also have FAMU graduate on in our company, and then a lot of people from PWIs on our team. And then we work very closely with schools from the West Coast, ranging from USC all the way down to Florida Memorial, that we try to engage. And most recently, Tasha and George has been working with Case Western Reserve University and some of the work and research that we do there. So we've got a passion for education training and a love for it, although that's kind of secondary to our primary business. We are a global supply chain company, which means we manage global inventory, the technology to support it, agile software development to support movement of goods and materials around the world, logistics, we operate and run warehouses, and we do a manner of things when it comes to supply chain. So think of us from soup to nuts, from procurement or when there's an idea of some materials that need to be ordered that will be a component part of something that's being manufactured. That's when our clients and our customers call on us. And what we do is we help them with all of that inbound. We don't do any exporting, just inbound logistics. And then we move things, we right size. So a lot of Agile and Six Sigma approaches, DMADV, DMAIC type approaches in order to ensure that we can efficiently and effectively get material to where it needs to be to satisfy help our customers satisfy theirs. So component parts like electrical transformers, wire harnesses, steel, metal, plastics, et cetera, that end up being part of something else in the manufacturing process is what we do. So we know supply chain, and that's the bulk of it. Now, what we did was come about 10 years ago, we realized that not as many people of color and women were in our space. So we started a bunch of education program partnering with colleges. And of course, we're proud to go full circle and eventually come back home. So this is awesome. What I'm going to talk about today is the value of having certifications. At any point, I'm going to kind of rush through this, but at any point, stop me and let's have some conversation. But I'm really going to hone in on a couple of things. The value that you get with having a professional certification is it gives you a strong hold over how things function in business and in industry. Okay, so if you want to really understand how business happens and jump off and out of the textbook into the quote unquote real world, which I don't really like that terminology, but how do things actually function in industry is the value of a certification. You also learn the nuances of industry and the concepts that's not typically taught in textbooks. So the value comes in as you go through a certification, especially one that is put on or delivered to you by a company like ours. We're practitioners first that, oh, by the way, we're also good at teaching the stuff that we do. So I would always encourage you, if you're taking some notes, I have a tendency to say note to self. That just means you may want to write this down or remember it. And remember, when you go to get certifications of any type, always opt for the certification that one is going to be live, not a tape recorded, and then if you can, and then also from someone that actually practices real world, because things constantly evolve in technology. We're sitting here talking about avatars in the metaverse and some fictional digital character representing Andre in the world. Then if I'm not actually doing this stuff and practicing it, then I'm probably not the best to give you the nuances that you need and the concepts that's not taught in the textbook. So always look to have practitioners that do this stuff from day to day. Also, another value is that it confirms that you are professionally competent, right? So if I see that you're coming to me with your resume, and in addition to your degree, you actually have certifications that demonstrate your competency, but why? Because in order to earn the certification, you have to demonstrate that in an exam, and usually an exam that's under pressure. It's a time-based exam, and you've got to be able to deliver and complete the exam. One of the last things is that it gives you credibility. So big value in certifications is you will have credibility to an employer, and they know that you're actually worth your salt, right? You come in saying that I can do. Well, what have you done, or where have you demonstrated it? The best way to demonstrate it is through certifications, because those are based on experiential type of questions and exams. So as I go through Agile and Lean and Six Sigma, the certifications are not, see Spot run, what does Spot do? The certification questions are always based on a scenario where you've got to demonstrate your understanding of the context, the situation, and what's going on in order to get the correct answer. And all the answers are usually pretty close, where some of them can be right, some of them could possibly pass muster as the right answer. Your job on these is to understand the context and the content and the material so well that you can pick the most right answer. because there will be 2 or 3 answers that are right. So it tells and demonstrates your credibility to an employer that you actually get it. And last but not least, every business project that you have or that you're working on will probably have a number of different approaches and ways that you can answer or solve the problem. With a designated certification, you will understand the various approaches to take at the right time, okay? And that's really important because that tells an employer that regardless of the situation that comes up, you've got the credibility to be able to look at the situation and be able to dissect it and determine which approach is the best approach to take in order to be able to pass the examination, okay?
Very
So that's,
nuanced.
yeah, the nuances exactly are so important. Okay, so all of those, and I may touch on a couple more, but those are the ones that come top of mind as to the benefits of actually getting certified. Now, not going to spend a lot of time on me. This is that, what do you call it? This is like, you know, you go into people's offices and they had all these plaques on the wall and pictures of it. This is my I love me slide here, right? So basically what it does is it does just tell about the certifications. I believe in certs, so of course, I've got a lot of them myself. So in addition to my undergrad in business at Howard, I got a master's degree from University of Michigan. I have a law degree from Cleveland State University in Cleveland. I have my PMP. I have my Lean Six Sigma Black Belt that I got from Villanova. PMI ACP, which is the Agile certification. Also, SAFE is scaling Agile, and that's predominantly accepted and widely accepted in the federal government. So I have a leading SAFE certification, which is for executive level understanding of leading Agile. Scrum and Scale, which is scaling Agile, scaling Scrum. I also have executive leadership and strategic impact certification from Tuck, from Dartmouth and the Tuck Business School. And then most recently, as of September, I earned my commercial real estate professional certification and designation from ULI. Why? Because Bridgeport is expanding and opening new warehouses that we're building. We're owning the land, we're owning the building, and we're putting these around the country. So I needed to understand, think about all the things that I said that you want to demonstrate to an employer. I have to demonstrate those things to my customers. So therefore, myself and the company gets a lot of designations. So the certifications you see at the bottom are certifications that our company owns, and individuals within our teams and our company has a lot of these designations. And then these are just a list of a handful of clients or that you may recognize. Now, let me jump into the last, I want to spend about 10 minutes really hitting some things and then opening up for some questions. Industry 4.0, and I appreciate the conversation we had about avatars and the metaverse, right? Right now, guys, we're in Industry 4.0. There's a lot of talk now about 5.0. And now how do I make myself relevant at 4.0, right? Remember, you know, Industry 1.0 is when we got into steam engines and mechanization, turn of the century. Then 2.0, we started to get into assembly lines and mass production. 3.0, internet, right? Some of you guys were probably just being born when we got to 3.0. 4.0 is all about IoT, smart cities, right? Cognitive computing and all of that kind of stuff. And now people are already talking about 5.0, which is what you guys were just talking about. Avatars taking the place of people. Do you realize that more than 60% right now, more than 60% of the manufacturing companies, global manufacturing companies, and this is Georgia's space, over 60% of the manufacturers now will have a director or chief of robotics by 2025. That's more than half the major companies. By 2025, they're going to have a role in a position that's going to be prominent. It's going to be a C-suite role, chief of robotics, and several companies are already doing it. And that's where all of your AI and everything are going to come in. So the keys to thriving is to do this 1 through 4, but number 4 really is to make the most of everything by earning certifications. Now, the other thing that I find very interesting is about as you start to really enter into the global workforce as a leader, in the space of supply chain technology or whichever field you're going into, it's interesting that up to now, the skills that were most important was over the last few years was analytical thinking, active learning, things that we know, creativity. You guys probably hear this in the classroom from your professors all the time, but look at what's going to be trending in the near future, right? Analytical thinking. Why does anybody on a call think analytical thinking and being able to analyze data and make decisions based on the analysis of data is going to drop from a very important thing right now all the way to number 8 as far as the skills that's needed?
AI.
AI is going to do it for you, right? So the ability to actively learn more things to stay ahead of AI, the ability to transfer information that AI gives you into something that's usable is what's really going to be important. And then to be able to communicate that through emotional intelligence is where things are going, leadership, et cetera, et cetera. So I just thought this was really interesting to see where we are now versus where we're going. And that number 1 and that number 2 is really aimed at what Lean, Six Sigma, as well as Agile really teaches and provides the learner confidence that they're able to do these.
This is a
Now,
great slide. I'm hoping you're going to share it with me afterwards so that
I will.
Okay.
We definitely will share this with you. And then some of the key benefits, I'm not going to read these. I've already really touched on them. The one I want to focus on, and again, I think this next one's a great slide too, is the enhanced academic performance. So, being certified as a business owner has given, so if anybody's got entrepreneurial aspirations, I am always confident that I could beat my competition if the people I'm bidding work to really understands the knowledge that I personally bring and all the certifications that the company has and my staff has. If I compete one-on-one for the work that I'm going to do, I'm extremely confident any major corporation management consulting around supply chain that you put me against, we can beat them. Now, what we don't have necessarily is the big name and lights reputation that, that gives us the challenge. But what I always tell those people I'm competing to earn the business for is that when you get us in our company, you get these things that's around this circle. And when you do that with another major company, you get someone probably out of undergrad that represents, or someone that at a high level that represents the company, and then they stick you with a junior consultant that actually tries to get the work done. That doesn't always work, but but I do try that when I'm competing against the Accentures and the PwCs and the McKinseys of the world. But we won our fair share against those guys. But the one I want to focus on is the enhanced academic performance, right? So here's what the studies show. And the last slide too, when you guys get this, has all the reference materials in it. So you could go and do a deeper dive in any of this stuff if you want. But it's been proven that certifications can actually improve students' academic performance. Okay, so this is for our administrators to really hone in on this with respect to validation as to why adding certifications to a curriculum really overall enhances a student's ability to matriculate the textbook-oriented curriculum. Okay, so typically those that earn certifications while they're in school, and this is in high school and college, that they typically have a higher grade point average. We now offer a supply chain logistics and warehouse certification frontline worker program for community colleges, and we're soon to do it for high school. Those kids and those students that are in the community college and will be in high school are seeing a higher GPA by going through the certification for all the other reasons I've already talked about. Graduation rates are higher. There's the percentages. Post-secondary education, so those that are in the community college have a higher percentages of going on to a 4-year, and in high school going into the 2-year college, and then also the dropout rate is reduced. Money. This is a good one. Typically, if you have certification, it does allow you to demand or request a higher pay and higher salary. So the certifications I'm going to talk about in supply chain as well as technology gives you about a 7 to 10% higher salary range than those that are not certified. And then most of your hiring managers, 91%, almost 100% of your hiring managers prefer candidates that have a certification versus those that don't. And if you're looking at what's going on right now, there is a heavy or a mass layoff that's going on in the tech space now. I don't know if anyone saw it, but Carvana this morning or yesterday made an announcement of about 2,000 jobs that they're going to let go of.
Oh, wow.
So Carvana's laying off up to 2,000. You guys know Meta, Facebook is laying off a lot. Google has announced a lot. Alphabet has announced a lot. And of course, Twitter is laying off a lot. So right now, you
And
just imagine
AWS.
AWS is laying off a lot too. So just imagine we have an office and we've got instructors and facilitators in Silicon Valley, right? We have a presence in Silicon Valley. We spend time there. One of our business partners is in Silicon Valley. Can you imagine the scramble that's going on right now when you take 30 and 40 and 50,000 programmers that's in the Bay Area and they're all looking for work, and many of them are requiring to have active jobs based on their either their visa status or some other type of requirement. Right now, I'm going to be out there in mid-December, but I'm curious to see just how challenging this is when you get this layoff. So the thing is that there's a lot of competition, right? There's a lot of competition for tech spaces. If you want to make yourself as competitive as possible, these kind of certifications are going to make you stand out in a crowd compared to those that don't have it. But the challenge is real right now, okay? Now, I'm just going to talk about the two that we will be offering at Howard. One is the Agile certification. And the thing about Agile is that Agile really has turned into a mindset, especially for tech companies, of how they do work. It is the only way the big tech companies do work now. So the workflow, the decision-making, the collaboration, the teamwork, the customer is the focus at the very front of everything, is what everybody is doing because it's so high. So the Agile certification helps you develop the Agile mindset, which is 4 values. So the student learned the core 4 values, okay, called the Agile Manifesto. They learn 12 principles, and then they understand the practices of Agile, which ranges from Lean to Kaizen to Six Sigma to Agile to Scrum to Spotify. All of those are different types of Agile environments and Agile types of practices. So the student learned those as well as get tested on those in order to earn the Agile certification. And why Agile? Similar reason why certifications, because decision makers and companies will have to fill 2.2 million new project-oriented roles in going through 2027. That's almost 2.5 million jobs, right? That will be project-oriented using Agile. So it's one of those things that you just need to know, and you should go into the workforce with a competitive advantage already knowing it versus the company having to invest a lot of money into bring you up to speed and getting you certified. There's a ton of Agile certifications. I just talked about them. As a company, we have most of these. And then Six Sigma and Lean, similar thing. Depending on the level of certification, the Lean practitioner averages 147. And then a lot of that is kind of starting. It all depends on where you are. Are you in manufacturing? How quickly can you move up to leading Lean projects? The benefit of a Lean certification, especially a green belt, is that going into a work environment that's very heavily project-based, those with Six Sigma designations and certifications typically get assigned projects earlier. And you guys know this, you know, George and I can attest to this being in the military. Military relies on a lot of certifications. And when we were in, the best way to get assignments, to get promotions, was to have designations and certifications. So similar in the civilian world, you have a certification, the company is more inclined to put you in front to lead a project, which means that when you're successful and demonstrate you're successful, you climb up the corporate ladder, okay? So that's another huge benefit. The structure, we can get into details a lot more about how it works. Yellow belt is really more informational. It doesn't spend as much time on practical application. When we teach the green belt, we really get into practical application. And then our black belt is for those that are going to be senior leaders over projects. Typically, we go green and then black, and then master black belt is when a master black belt has to give a master title to another black belt by demonstrating actual projects and shadowing them on a major project that is signed off by the organization in order to earn your master black belt designation. Now, last slide is the upcoming courses that we have. We're going to start out with just introducing students to Agile and Scrum. What is it? What does it mean? How are companies really using it? And how do I start to take what I've learned in the classroom and transition it into an Agile and a Scrum environment? And the same thing with lean thinking and systems thinking. We're going to be looking and spending time about human-centric design and design thinking, which feeds into lean and all the principles of lean. These introduction courses are designed to make you aware and give you a leg up in being prepared to take the exam. Why? Because in the introduction, we go over the format of the questions. How are they laid out? How do you break them down? And how do you get to solutioning to get to the right answer of a question? And we work on that in these introduction courses well before you take the actual certification course and the exam. So that's it. It's a lot of information, really short. And I know I talk fast, and I tried to, when I'm talking to some fellow bison, I try not to bounce off the chair and get too excited, but I can't help myself with you guys. But if there's, what questions do we have in the balance of my 3 to 4 minutes?
I have a question. So hi, my name is Naomi Aiken. I'm a senior supply chain management major. I wanted to know how long is the course? So how long would it take you to get the certification?
Hi, Naomi. Great question. So when we do the Agile Scrum certification, there's a requirement of that one is 16 hours. So it's a requirement of a 16-hour course. And then for the green belt, it's a 24-hour course. So we spread that out, and we're very flexible in how we actually set up the course, but those are the requirements to sit for the exam. Now, what I always encourage my students to do is we break it down into modules where you'll have some expectation to do some self-study and some study on your own. And then we also spend time beyond the classroom with reading assignments that actually extended by another 4 hours, both classes.
So just to be clear though, the January sessions are sort of the intro courses. Intro
Yes.
to understand the certification and to prepare you, because some of us haven't had any exposure to the kind of work environment or projects that even prepare us to think about what the certification is.
Right. Yeah, the January 2021, 27, 28 are all intro, just to kind of tee it up, and it's exploratory. So you can kind of understand the type of environments, the type of projects that's going on. What do these terms actually mean? A big part of it is in these introductions are to share a little with you the vocabulary, because that's a big part of understanding what industry is talking about.
And we're going to open this up to our information systems partners as well, that, you know, we're housed with that organization. So I expect that they will also join, especially for these first two. So everyone gets a good understanding of what it is.
Right.
Just one more thing, Tasha, what were the times so the students understand that it's the 20th and 21st? Can you just give us the times that we decided?
I think we decided to start at 10. So for the intro classes, we said they would be 3 hours apiece. So I think the 20th, is that a Friday?
That's
And
the
then
Friday, right.
Friday and Saturday. Yeah, so it'll be 3 hours, probably from until 10 to 1,
Right.
each day. And then the lean, we haven't actually
Haven't set
scheduled
those
that
yet.
part
Yeah.
out yet,
Yeah.
but those
Okay.
classes will be 3 hours
I
apiece.
may want to use this this is our flyer, so we'll need to probably put the times on here, so. students
Okay,
know.
all right, we can update that. Yep.
Okay, great, thanks.
Excellent.
So yeah, we ran into so many time constraints when Dean Wilbon asked us not to do anything in December, because Bridgeport was planning to join us live in December, so we'll have to see about when we can get you back.
Yeah. And honestly, I will, I'll fall on the sword for that, because in our scheduling, there is a thing that is called quiet time. And it's the time that the schools have designated for the students to study for their exams. So that's why they try not to do too much programming after we enter the quiet period. And so December 2nd starts the quiet period for this semester. So I should probably note that on the calendar for us
Going forward.
going
Yeah,
forward.
we're still new at it, we're getting there.
Mhm.
So I guess my question is, from the presentation, the students, are you interested in signing up? So will you be joining us January 20th and the 27th, 28th?
Well,
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, this is Tangie Franks. I am a supply chain management major, and I'm excited about this presentation that you gave. It was very insightful, very detailed. It's definitely going to put us on the curve to be presented better for hire for when we graduate. And I'm definitely interested in this option, and I'm going to definitely share with my peers as well.
All right, that's great to hear. This summer, we also have interns. And so our interns, we had 5. They actually took the certification for Scrum Master, and all of them passed, and they didn't have any, knowledge either. Our company is agile, so they did work through the ceremonies, and they went through the intro to class and then the actual certification class and earned their certification. And so they definitely saw the value in that and was able to put it, on their resume. And now actually, we had a couple students that were master's students that are now in the work field, and they were able to get, jobs based on the fact that they had this certification outside of their coursework. Yes, Tangie.
Yeah, so we had graduate students in data analytics from University of Cincinnati, right, Tasha?
Yes.
We had a Hampton University graduate or student. We had
Ohio State
student and community college student as interns, and I know at least one is in California working for Walmart in data analytics using Agile, I'm sure, and I forget where the other
The other one is doing some healthcare. He's working
Boston.
at a healthcare company.
Boston, yeah, somewhere in the Northeast, right? Exactly. So, yeah, great question,
So
Tangie.
definitely, we will work on getting the word out more this week and in December, and then when we first come back in January. So we'll get the word out.
Yeah. And do we know the size of the any estimation of when you get the word out and the other the tech folks information systems roughly?
CIS.
What do we predict? Yes, CIS. What do we predict the size of the?
I honestly think we will have 10 to 15 students.
Okay, that's a good
That
number.
for us is a for given that this is outside of the curriculum, would be our program is small, 80 or so students. The CIS program is just about the same, maybe a little smaller. And so when you put it together, that's probably a good number to target. And then I think we may not have as many in the certification, but if I think we get 10 students, I would consider that a big win for Howard.
Indeed. And it would be open to our MBA students as well. So we might get
Yes.
Yeah, we might get a few there.
There as well, yep. And we'll open to all, we'll open it, we can actually open it to the whole school as it relates, but I think the primary students would be the, you know what I didn't think about, Dr. Ware, though? What about our engineering
Engineering.
students?
I knew you were thinking of it,
I
and
just thought about it. We're
I-
just
I-
starting,
I
new
have it in the
partnership.
back of my head, but since I have
Yeah.
not actually met with Antoinette, I didn't want to put anything out on the table till
Okay.
actually I speak with her tomorrow.
I don't want it to be too big, but you know, I definitely want to make sure we get enough to make it your worthwhile to
Right.
present and come, because
Right.
we're much smaller than some of the institutions that you named off, so.
Well, and I actually think it will be very good if we could have a little bit of a mix, because that helps to, sometimes the learning is also from those that are in the classroom. And so just the different perspectives is also something we might want to do.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then too, once you go into the workforce, a lot now is cross-functional teams. So everybody isn't going to have the same discipline as you. And so
Absolutely.
they're bringing a different perspective to the conversation.
I think Tangi, is your hand up or is that from before?
Oh, sorry, let me see.
No, ma'am, my hand is up.
Oh, okay.
My question was, after you transition from the introductory, and I know that you were suggesting that it's a Friday and Saturday for that, but when you go into the concepts and like the training part, like what does that schedule look like, and when will that start?
So we did say March, but we haven't actually found the dates yet. So that's something that we need to work on with Miss Tanya.
Yep,
And
we'll get that.
so we should know for sure. I would say during the January classes when we're going to actually hold the certification class.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Dr. Ware's finalizing the calendar. So, okay, cool.
Yummy.
Yes, so by any chance, would you guys be able to do it like in February for like graduating students who would want to like participate? Or does that not have anything to do with it? Like if it's in March or later?
So that is an option. We discussed the February, March. We just wanted to make sure that once we hold the class for the certification, that you would be prepared. So, with after taking the intro classes, that you would be ready to sit for the certification.
Yeah.
So that's why we kind of gave it March, early March. But if we see sometime late February after the intro classes that you have a good sense of where you can go on to the next training class, then we can arrange that as well. We just wanted to make sure that you're prepared. So if we needed to add some additional class time for the introduction, we wanted to leave space for that.
Okay. I'm gonna get with Dr. Kumar and we'll sit down looking at midterms and all that timing. And I think your point is for the graduating seniors. I just need to understand what the point is that you were making about the graduating seniors to make sure I get it in terms of time.
No, go right.
I was just thinking like during that time, they're more focused on like finishing up so that they can graduate. So lots of people may not want to take an external course outside of classes. So I think when
Gotcha.
they're still in the groove, like in February, when it's still fresh at the beginning of the semester, that would be better. I mean, I would do it regardless, whatever, but like I think to get
Okay,
more
no, that's good
engagement,
advice.
to do it like a bit earlier,
Okay, all right, look at the end of February, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. We will work with our friends at Bridgeport to see what we can come up with.
Not only that, but also because you guys are heavily involved in career
Yeah.
decisions. And so that could probably might make a difference for them. So
Yes.
Okay.
I get
we'll
it.
have to- It's
mhm,
always
great
complicated.
feedback. Yeah.
So, all right, good. All right, I will, in respect to time, Tasha, Andre, George, are we
you.
okay?
Yep.
Okay, we will put this, we will make this recording available to to students as well. So as soon as you can get it to us, Tasha, the better.
Will do. Well,
Thank you.
thanks
We'll
for
attach-
having us.
Thank you
Andre.
so much. Happy
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you guys for being there. Happy Thanksgiving. Students, travel safely, and
Everybody.
we'll be in touch soon.
All
Okay.
right, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye.